What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another edition of Fall Reading Diaries. This video is going to be a cross between Fall Reading Diaries and Mood Read with me for a week, and also a realistic reading week for me, because I figured that this video could be very cozy, very chill, very realistic on how much I read in a week, what my weeks look like, and things like that. So I'm going to start off this video with Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. This is her sequel novel to Better Than the Movies, and I love that book very, very much. I'm very excited to see if this holds up the hype. So without further ado, let's get to reading. So for you guys, that was just a second, but for me, that was like one of the perfect moments where I'm here, I'm like about to read my book, I'm like, wow, it smells so good. And then my son gets hungry. So I immediately have to stop and make him food and, you know, do all that. So that's pretty much what my days look like. Like, I intend to sit and read, but I have to like wash dishes or vacuum or laundry or take care of my son, among other things that I do as a wife and as a mom. Now I'm actually going to sit and read and see how much I can read by the time I have to do something else, or maybe like go out and run errands or something. Now I'm gonna sit down and read, hopefully uninterrupted, for at least a little bit of time. So I am 26 pages into this book, and Lynn Painter does friendship so well. Like, Liz, which is the female main character, love interest, is just talking to her friend, and it sounds like a real genuine conversation that I would have with one of my friends. Like, she does writing, banter, and friendships, and just quirky conversations so well. And I think that's the key of a good book, is that when you can picture yourself in that moment and all of it seems so real and so genuine and just so easy, that is a good book. Like, I'm genuinely really liking this book already. All right, guys, I have read 34 pages. It's the same day, literally 20 minutes, not even, like 5 minutes since I last filmed. My change is going out. Like I said, I read 34 pages, really enjoying it. Super excited to see where this book is gonna go and how it's gonna clench my heart. So love that. Now I'm going to go to the library because I finished Killer Instinct and All In. Gonna return these. I don't really think I'm gonna get anything at the library because I have a lot on my physical TBR that I really actually do want to read. Maybe I'll look at the books that the library sells because they're like $1 to $2, but not really thinking too much on that. But that's what I'm doing right now. This Fall Diaries is going very well. I feel very cozy, you know? Hey guys, welcome to the next day. I went to the library. I didn't rent out any more books. I browsed a little bit but didn't see anything, so I read a little bit more last night. I didn't film because I was doing a bunch of stuff for my family, but right now I'm on page 88, and basically all I have to report is that I'm loving this book. Like, I am loving this book. The way that Lynn Painter has created these two characters specifically, like, I don't know what she did, but she knew what she was doing. She got it right. I am so invested in Liz's personal life and Wes's personal life and their lives together. And the way Lynn Painter writes friendship in this book, so much better than the movies. So much more fleshed out, relatable, likable. So I'm on chapter 11. I have been trying to listen to the soundtrack that Lynn Painter put in the back of the book. I looked it up on Spotify, so I started listening to a little bit of it, but honestly, like, the music is not really my taste, so I just haven't been listening to it. But what I am listening to is, I have like a few artists that just fit perfectly with any romance book I'm reading. The first person is John Michael Howell. If you listen to his music, reading literally any romance book, the experience just levels up. I also am listening to Tori Kelly plus a little more, her, like, I guess it's like deluxe album or something. So that one is so good because it just feels like you're in an R&B movie. Like, it's just so good. Those are the two artists that I'm listening to while reading this book, and I'm going to continue reading today. So let's see how much. Yesterday I read 88 pages. Let's see how many pages I can read today. Okay, so you know how I said that this is going to be a very chill mood reading vlog? Well, I started The Grandest Game. I actually started this a while ago, like a few days ago. It's not part of my October TBR, so I've kind of just been like really leisurely listening to it on audiobook. But for whatever reason, I feel like reading it right now. I'm going to be reading this, and honestly, I want to finish it today just so I get it off my physical TBR. I read 4 pages so far today. This is actually the first book I'm picking up today. So I'm going to continue reading and see how far I can get. Hey guys, it is quite a few hours later and I have read a good chunk of this book. I am past the halfway point. I'm on page 233. So I read from page 132 to literally 100 pages after 232. So I'm on chapter 53 now. The chapters are very short. They fly by very quickly. So I'm going to stop right here. Like I said, I read 100 pages on day 2. I may or may not continue reading tonight, but right now I'm going to play dominoes with my family and then I have a prayer meeting. So not sure how much I'm going to read, if I will read it all, but that's my update. I am really enjoying The Grandest Game. Like, I don't know what it was today, but I jumped back in and I just could not put it down. I was so entertained. I love the riddles, the puzzles, figuring out what's going on, and even like the hidden secrets that each character has that everyone's trying to figure out, like the personalities of everyone they're playing with. I'm very intrigued. I'm having a great time with this book. It's so much fun. I heard people say that it was like a book that's kind of like the author didn't need to continue the series, but I'm really enjoying it. I think it's fun. I'm here for this book, but I'm gonna put it down now. I'm going to play some dominoes and then probably relax because my eyes are getting a little bit tired from reading so much. That's my update. I'm having a grand old time and I will see you guys the next time I pick up a book. Good morning, everybody. It is the next day and I did indeed read more last night. So I went from page 132 to page 286. So that would be 154 pages yesterday. Quick maths. I'm going to finish the book because I literally only have that much left over. So that's the goal today. I'm excited to finish it. I'm excited to complete a book. I'm excited to finish this book. And also I am moderately intrigued to see what happens at the end because there's so many characters and there's so many secrets that each character has and is unwilling to give into, like unwilling to divulge. And for me, it's like as a human being, like as a real person and not a fictional character in a book, I'm like, why are you hiding so much? Like, why do you have so much to hide? Like, there's 2 characters that are so into 3 characters that are like, I must control myself, I can't have feelings. It's just like, is anybody like actually like that in real life? Because that's so hard for me to believe. That's just wild. So anyways, chapter 64, let's get to reading. Guys, I'm in the same spot, but I brushed my hair so I look like a lion, but that's okay. I came to update you that I have just finished The Grandest Game. It's been like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I finished the book. It was really good. I actually really enjoyed it, but I think for the rating, I'm gonna settle on like a 3-star or somewhere around there. I'll probably give a more in-depth review at the end because like I said, I literally finished it 0.5 seconds ago, so it was really good. I'm thinking about rating it 3-star. There was a lot of characters, and because I read the Brothers Hawthorne over audiobook and ebook and I didn't actually own it, it felt like not a blur because I remember what happened, but the amount of characters that were introduced in that book and the amount of separate mysteries and perspectives that were in that book felt like a blur. Like there was just too much to keep track of. And at the very end of the book, one of the, I guess like bad guy characters was reintroduced. Not even reintroduced, just mentioned. So I'm assuming that's where the second book in this duology is going to come in and take place. I'll get more into it at the end of this video, but as usual, the cliffhanger is just something that's so annoying. Like, it's just like one of the main characters has a choice to make. One choice could lead to like an easy resolution. The other choice can lead to an entire second book. And for me, the reader, it's like if you just make the right decision, all these problems wouldn't happen. And I feel like you could still create a second book based on all the loose ends that were not tied up and not have an additional issue to introduce a second book with, you know? So for me, it's just like, you shouldn't have done that. That was a dumb decision. Everything would have been fine if you didn't do that, and there would still be things to uncover in the second book. But whatever, I finished it. I actually really liked it. I would recommend it if you're looking for a fun time, if you like mysteries, puzzles, riddles, stuff like that. I think you would enjoy this. You do, I would say, have to read The Brothers Hawthorne before you read this. The Inheritance Games also you should read, because something happens in the last book of the Inheritance Games trilogy that has to do with The Brothers Hawthorne and this book and the characters within this book. So in order for it not to get confusing, just read the previous 4 books, and you have to remember like specific characters because there's so many secrets that come out and weave into each other that it's almost hard, almost impossible to keep track of. But that's where we're at now. I'm going to continue reading Nothing Like the Movies. I am still on page 89, so chapter 11. Hello, party people. So it is obviously the next day. I have finished The Grandest Game, like I said yesterday. So I read 108 pages of this book yesterday and 66 pages of this book also yesterday, which means the third day total was 176 pages. So right now, this morning, I read like 4 pages of this book. I went from page 154 to 158. So I literally read 4 pages of this. And now that we're outside and it's a beautiful fall day, I'm going to grab my blanket because it's actually freezing, and I'm going to keep reading this book. So honestly, I would prefer to finish this book today. Not sure if that's going to happen because I still have like 240 more pages to go, but I'm going to sit and read until I stop. So cue the reading montage. Hey guys, I feel like I haven't been updating you guys much. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't, but I wanted to talk a little bit more about Nothing Like the Movies. Did something just bite my cheek? So today was a really good day. I went for a walk, I worked out, now I'm making dinner with my husband, I'm taking a little break. But I wanted to share like more deep, intimate thoughts about Nothing Like the Movies because I've said I've been really enjoying it so far, but I kind of want to talk about the specifics of it. So I think it's great. I think Lynn Painter does young adult romances literally so well. So far, very few books have ever made me feel what it's like to be back in high school the way that her books does. But what I don't love is that now that this book is set in the college setting, she's a little bit liberal with the cuss words, and like there's like 3 that she uses interchangeably. Me personally, I don't enjoy cussing. I don't listen to cussing. I don't cuss. I don't find it appropriate. So because there's so much of it in this book, I'm kind of like, college students don't spend their entire conversations cussing, and it's like in every single like conversation that's basically had in this book, every bit of dialogue has like the S word thrown into it. And I'm kind of just like, I really feel like this book would have been so much better. Okay, I'm outside now because my husband's sound effects were crazy. Basically, I feel like the writing and the story could have moved on a lot better if she kept the cussing to a minimum, if not at all. Because personally, when I was in college, like, yeah, people cuss, but it wasn't excessive the way that it was there. Even in their thoughts, these characters are cussing, and it's kind of like, why are you doing that so much? Also, having a good vocabulary, you don't need to cuss when you have a good vocabulary. And obviously, Lynn Painter's an author. She definitely has a good vocabulary. So I just feel like she could have used different adjectives, different synonyms than the cuss words. Other than that, something that you guys saw in a clip before is that she is saying praise Jesus. And I'm not saying that that completely like covers all the cussing and like makes it okay. Me as a believer, I'm so grateful that she's saying praise Jesus instead of using how other authors do cuss words, saying the name of God in vain. Every time something good happens, happens, the characters go praise Jesus, and I'm like, yes, praise Jesus, he deserves this praise. I am very happy that that is incorporated into this book. That is a plus. That definitely brings the rating up. So right now I'm over halfway through the book. I'm really enjoying it, and honestly I'm gonna miss it when it ends, just like I missed Better Than the Movies. Wes and Liz are close to my heart. I love these characters. The storyline just hits every single time, and I'm thoroughly 100% enjoying it and having a great time reading this book. I just wanted to give you guys a more real update, because this video is supposed to be like what it's like to be realistically read my realistic reading throughout the week, and I do get interrupted quite a bit. I do get pulled left and right, you know, when I'm reading sometimes, and other times I really do get a good stretch of uninterrupted reading, and I got like 30 to 40 minutes of uninterrupted reading today, so that was a blessing, praise God. I am going to help my husband finish cooking and probably read tonight. I gotta get some grub right now. What is up, guys? It is day 5 right now. I read 121 pages yesterday, and I have read quite a few pages today. I've actually read 50 pages today. Right now I'm on page 325. I'm on chapter 32. We have reached the midpoint climax of the book. Now we're just waiting for the third act conflict. Don't know what it's gonna be. I actually despise third act conflicts in romances. I think that they're so cliche, so overdone, so redundant, and I'm just curious to see what Lynn Painter is going to do in terms of this couple. So I'm going to keep reading for the day and hopefully finish this book today. What's up, guys? Welcome to the end of this reading vlog. So I indeed have finished Nothing Like the Movies. Let's get into my ratings and review for both of the books I read in this video. All right, so I finished Nothing Like the Movies 2 days ago. I am going to give this book 4 stars. I went from 5 to 4.75 to 4 now, because this book I don't think is as memorable as Better Than the Movies. So this book does not hold the same emotional value that Better Than the Movies did for me. It was still really good, but it was what it is, a sequel. So because of that, it was still really good, but because the buildup of Better Than the Movies to the culmination of their relationship already was in that book, and this is kind of just like, dare I say, a rerun, it's not as good. Better Than the Movies was like a 4.5, 4.75 book for me. This is a 4-star book for me. It was still really, really good. I talked a little bit about it throughout the video. I didn't appreciate the cussing. I did appreciate the thank gods and praise Jesuses, because he deserves the praise. I also just think that Lynn Painter knows how to do romance well. I think she knows how to do banter well. I think she knows how to do friendship banter really, really well, because the friendships in this book is so strong from the female main character's point of view and the male character's point of view. It is dual POV. It is set in college, and also something that Lynn Painter excels at is that she knows how to bring on the ambiance. As soon as I opened this book, I was like, I'm back in college. I'm back at fall semester. Like, I felt like I was there. I got it. I understood. And for the most part, she definitely knows like what it's like to be in high school, what it's like to be in college. So felt that throughout the book, and that's good, because, you know, when you read a book, you want to feel like you're there. It's escapism. Like, you want to believe what you're reading. I heard people say that they didn't think that this book was necessary, but honestly, I liked it. I'm happy to be back in these people's minds and these people's hearts and feelings. Like, I just had a good time. So this is a really fun read. If you're looking for a fun, chill, easy read, I would definitely probably read this in the summer. I highly recommend. Now on to The Grandest Game. I barely talked about this book in this video, so welcome to the unload. The Grandest Game came after The Brothers Hawthorne in the Inheritance Game series. It began as a trilogy, and then she did like a little novella slash spin-off with the perspective of all 4 brothers, I think, without like Xander or something, so 3 brothers. I think the last book of the Inheritance Games and kind of the Brothers Hawthorne hinted at The Grandest Game being its own book. So if you've read the Inheritance Game series, I'm going to try not to include any spoilers, but if you have, you know that at the very end of the Inheritance Games, there is something that's called The Grandest Game that is created, and that becomes like, you know, a worldwide thing. To not really spoil anything, this book has multiple points of view. It has many points of view. You have several characters that were in the Inheritance Games within this book, and you have several characters that are within the Brothers brothers Hawthorne in this book. So everybody's getting a point of view, and there's a lot of mysteries and secrets that each character has that Jennifer Lynn Barnes, the author, is kind of interweaving into other people's storylines and other people's histories. So it's interesting, but at the same time, I feel like in a book like this that's filled with riddles and puzzles, and literally the entire book is following the game, it's kind of like fluff. Like, the game is fluff, and what we're really trying to grab at is the secrets that everybody has, or the secrets that they're trying to find out about themselves and about other people. So in the book, it ends off on a huge cliffhanger, and honestly, this book is like, I also heard the same thing that people said about Better Than the Movies, is that this book is not necessary. Like, she's just continuing something that's already been done just for the sake of continuing it, liking the characters. I don't know. I had a lot of fun with this book. I said that before. I stand by that. But is this a book that you have to read, that's so necessary, that needed to be published and made? I don't think so. And I feel bad for saying that because it is fun, but it's just not needed, you know? Like, I'm not invested in any of the characters because, if you guys aren't aware, in the Inheritance games, it follows 4 brothers and 1 girl. They don't have any part to play in this book other than the fact that they're the authors of the game. One of the brothers is playing the game as well, but at this point it's just like, okay, just tell me how everything weaves together. Tell me how this person knows that person and has something to do with that person's event or whatever. And after that, I'm done. This book doesn't even finish the game. Like, this is part 1 of the game, and then part 2 is going to be Glorious Rivals. I'm probably going to read that book just because I'm already in it and I've read like the whole series at this point. Would I recommend it if you're bored and are looking for something fun? Yeah, I think this book is fun. It has a lot of riddles. You can play along with the game with the players as well. But is this book gonna change your life? No. So with that being said, I rated this book 3 stars. On Goodreads, I put 3.75. Now it's just 3 stars. Now that I've sat on it and I've, moved on with my life, when I think back to this book, I think 3 stars. So with that being said, that is a realistic reading week for me. Let me tell you how many pages I read each week. On day 1, I read 88 pages. On day 2, I read 126 pages. On day 3, I read 174 pages. On day 4, I read 121 pages. And on day 5, I read 60 pages. So let's average that out, shall we? On average, I read 114 pages per day. And that seems pretty accurate with how much I've been reading thus far. If I'm being honest, when I had my son, I didn't think I was going to be able to read it all. But thank the Lord, my son is a beautiful child, an amazing child, and my husband helps me so much. His grandparents love him so much and want to spend time with him. So I do have time. If I'm being honest, I don't know how I have the time to film and edit and read and do all the other things that I do, but by God's grace, he gives me the time. So I'm very, very grateful that I have the time to read and enjoy the hobbies that I had before I became a mom. So I'm extremely grateful. But yeah, life is busy. I don't always have the time to sit and read. And if I do, it's more so a few minutes than hours on end. I normally read probably about 2 to 3 hours a day in total, and it's broken up within like 10 to maybe 25-30 minutes at a time. But thank you guys so much for watching a realistic reading week in my life / mood reading. And now that I finished 2 books off of my fall TBR, I am excited to get into the rest of my October TBR / fall TBR. So I will see you guys in the next video. God bless you guys, and peace.